Welcome to a workshop offered by the University of Kentucky's Office of Work, Life, and Benefits. Today we're going to be talking about religion and special needs summer camps here offered in our city and our neighboring communities. So let's get started just kind of sharing a little bit about what we're going to talk about today. By way of overview for this workshop, here's what you can anticipate. We're going to talk about summer camp basics. We're going to also talk about things to consider or acknowledge when you're considering a summer camp. We're going to have you meet our three camp representatives that are here with us today to share information about what they offer. We're also going to talk about what camps wish parents knew before they signed up, before they sent their child to camp. We're going to offer some advice from one parent to another, so some parent to parent tips. And then we're going to wrap up with some benefits on summer camps. So let's start with the basics. We always want to start with the basics because we know that all parents are in different spaces. We have some parents that this may be their very first summer trying to figure out what do I do when it comes to summer camps? Where do I start? What are the types of camps? So we like to start with the basic information, making sure everyone has that information. So let's talk about summer camp types. There are day camps and then there's overnight or residential camps. The day camps is basically just what it sounds like. They go there during the day and they come home at the end of the day. And then the overnight or residential camp, that's a camp where you drop your child off. They maybe spend a night, it may be one or few days, or it may be a whole week, or it may be several weeks. But basically, they are there 24/7. So that camp is responsible for them 24/7, their entire schedule. And then we have our partial day or our full day or all day camps. A partial day, an example would be a camp that's run from maybe like 9 to 12 or 1 to 5. And then an all day camp could be potentially 8 to 5 or 9 to 5. Oftentimes we'll find that camps might start at 9 and end at 4 or even 5, but sometimes they'll have an option for early drop off. So you may have the option to drop your child off as early as 7:30, although the camp activities may not officially start until 9, or you may have an option to pick them up as late as 5 or 5:30. So that's just something to note also. And for those that offer that kind of before and after drop off, sometimes there's an additional charge for that, and other times they're not. Just depends on the camp. Also, there are camps that are offered one day or several days a week. And oftentimes these are some of our specialty camps. So it may just be a 1 day writing camp, 1 day intensive writing, something like that, or 2 days this week, or Monday and Wednesday. So there's camps that could be several days or a full week. And the full week varies too. Sometimes the drop off is Sunday instead of Monday. So it may be drop off Sunday if it's a residential type camp, pick up on Friday. So they vary. And then some camps are just 1 week for the summer, and some camps are offered several weeks. So it may be that they're repeating the same camp 3 or 4 times, and your child can sign up for one of the weeks. And if it's just that one camp offered 1 week in that summer, that means as a parent that you're probably trying to figure out, okay, what are we going to do for the rest of the summer? And that's normal. So just know that some camps are offered just that 1 week. And then there's some local, regional, and nationwide camps. So when we talk about camp categories, there's pretty much two main categories. There's the general camp, and that's our variety camp, or a camp where the child is doing a variety of activities. There could be a mixture of indoor and outdoor activities. It could be some hands-on activities, some small group activities, some activities related to art or math or science or writing or some type of sport. So there's a whole lot of different possibilities when it comes to those, what we call general. And then you can look at specialty camps. That's a camp where the whole point is that they're focusing on a particular topic or a particular category. And within that, they may have a few general things. So here's some example: an academic camp, adventure, arts, creative, athletics, sports, or even equestrian, military, religion, a religious, service, special needs, or STEM or STEAM. And the STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, math. When you add the A, that's your arts. So if you, for example, go to a specialty camp that's for tennis, that may be, half a day where you're just really practicing, doing fundamentals, so forth. Is very focused on that. Oftentimes, these camps, if they're specialty, sometimes they require you to have some skill coming into it, and sometimes they don't. It just depends on the camp. So that's just good to know the two major categories. There's the general, where there's a variety of things happening, and then there's the specialty camps. So, as a parent, there are some additional things to consider when you're choosing a camp. And this is where it gets more like reflective for you as the parent. You have to think about some things from your child's perspective and then some things from the parent's perspective. So, let's start with the child perspective. When you're considering a camp, you want to think about what's your child's interest? What about their personality? Are they more outgoing or more reserved? Are they a little more got a little nervousness about themselves, or they're kind of like really creative, or they like hands-on, or they don't like hands-on? Just kind of things about their personality and their abilities and their skills, as well as if they have any type of special needs or and their maturity level. So these are things you want to think about when you're looking at camps and evaluating camps. First of all, for example, if you're looking at a swim camp, does my child like to swim? Maybe you are, as the parent, considering a swim camp because you want them to be better swimmers. So there's just things to think about with that. And then you also need to consider possible pitfalls, hiccups, and challenges that might arise when you're thinking about a camp for your child. So a pitfall could be, depending on the activities and things that they're doing, if that child really detests those activities, are they going to cooperate or not? A challenge could be something as simple as where you have to drop the child off. Maybe it's the other side of town, and that's a 20 extra minutes going there, 20 minutes coming back in traffic, and all those things. That is something absolutely you can overcome. But you just need to kind of factor that in. Like if I'm dropping them off by 8 o'clock every morning and I'm supposed to be at work at 8, as an example, is there an early drop off? What time do I need to leave my house to get there on time? So those are things to think about when you're considering the camp. Where is it located? What are the options for hours and things like that? And then you have to consider the practical, realistic fit of this camp and those activities for your child. So just again, this is the child's perspective. So this is why you want to learn as much about what this camp offers and what their schedule looks like as you can so that you can kind of make an informed decision. You also want to think about your child's ability to deal with stress and transitions. Do they have anxiety? How good are they with meeting new people, interacting with new people? Can they follow directions? And, you know, can they follow a schedule? And so those are just things you got to think about when it comes to your child's perspective. Now let's think about the parent's perspective. From a parent perspective, you have to think, am I even ready to send my child to camp? Sometimes we hear from camps that their issue is not so much with the child, it's more so with the parent because the parent is not ready to send the child and the parent is trying to call or text the child in the middle of the day or telling the child to call and text them if there's an issue. So there's sometimes parents aren't quite ready to let the child just be at camp and let them just be there. So every parent has to kind of, pause for themselves and ask the question, am I even ready to send them to camp? And it could be that it's the type of camp they're going to. Maybe you're a little nervous about will they do well here or, do they have the skills or whatever the thing is, you have to think about that. Are you ready? What are your motivations for sending them to camp? You got to think about that. Most of the time when I'm talking to parents, the motivation is very simple. They need childcare over the summer. They need something that's financially reasonably priced for their budget. So what's your motivation when you're looking at these camps? Are you saying, what is the price? Where is it located? I need childcare. So for some parents, they don't even consider half-day camps because of their work schedule. They have to have a full day camp. Other parents, they may have an option where if the child is, they're half a day, maybe they can take their lunch break to either drop them off or pick them up, or they have another family member or friend or someone that they kind of work with to to, with the half-day camps. So these are just things to think about. Your personal finances, your family schedule. So if your family, we're talking about summer camps, if your family has a trip or vacation or something coming up, or you have family members coming to town, just different things, how are these camps that you're selecting going to impact your family schedule? And then sometimes you're selecting accordingly. Here's some camp details also to keep in mind when you're considering choosing a camp. You always have to do your research. That sounds extremely simple. Do your research, do your homework. And that is just asking the questions. Read the brochure, check out the website, read the details. Sometimes I know we're all busy and we feel like, oh my gosh, 3-page brochure, I don't have time to read all of this. Read the brochure. Oftentimes, that's where you're going to get a lot of details, you're going to get a lot of information. And if the questions that you have are not answered by their website or their brochure or their social media pages or wherever you're looking, then it's okay to reach out to the camps directly and ask the questions that you have for your child or your family. So just do your research, know the schedule, ask questions about the schedule if you're concerned about that. Recommended ages for camps, that sounds really simple as well. Just because a camp says that we're for ages, let's just say 6 to 12, does not necessarily mean all of those ages do the best at that camp. So you want to ask the questions like, kind of who thrives here? Or what do you do to help a 6-year-old thrive here? It's okay to ask those questions because, of course, a 6-year-old and 12-year-old are very different. So, and most of the time, camps will have considered that already, but from a parent's perspective, it's nice for you to just ask the question and be comfortable and know how they're handling things. You want to know, make sure you know what types of activities they're doing. So, if your child has a fear of something or allergic to something or whatever, sometimes that helps you to say, oh, okay, they're going to be outside all day for this day. So I should probably send some extra sunscreen lotion or, make sure they put that on before they leave the house that day. So just different things like that. Any kind of particular skills to participate, usually you'll know that up front. Super important to know how they communicate with you and how you can communicate with them. Often, they have your information, they have your phone number and everything, but sometimes, let's say you needed to reach out to them. Let's say your child is not feeling well, they're going to have to miss that particular day of camp. Like, who do you call? Who do you text? Where do you go to let them know they're not coming? So just kind of know two ways. How do you communicate with them and how they're going to communicate with you? So their communications with you, are they going to send like a note or like email at the end of the day to you summarizing what they did that day or what the expectation is for the next day? Is it going to be on their social media platform? Are they going to text you? There's a group text you can join, website notes, whatever. You just want to ask the question and figure out what you need to be checking because oftentimes with camps also, especially if it's a full week, they may have different activities on different days. So depending on the activity they're hosting on one particular day, your child may need to have closed-toed shoes that day. It's summer, so they're gonna want to wear the flip-flops and the sandals. Well, for this day, they may say, we're gonna be doing fill in the blank. They need to wear sneakers. Closed-toed shoes are better. So just those kinds of, it's something that simple. If you can read the communication or just know how they communicate and read any kind of note for that day or that activity, that's helpful. Something as simple as we're going to the pool on Wednesday, your child needs to bring a swimsuit. Like, if you don't read the communications, then you don't know that. So, and you may have to make a note to yourself also for special days and special activities, like on your own calendar to make sure you don't forget, because parents are very busy. And then what's going to be required of your child, the camp to staff ratio, if you care about that. Are they flexible? The flexible part could be really interesting. That's something as simple as, let's say it's all week camp and your child they have a doctor's appointment on Tuesday morning, and the earliest they can get to camp is 11 o'clock. So you'd want to ask that question, can they be dropped off late? If so, like, this is the time. Where are you going to be? Like, where should I take them? What's the process? It could be there's a central check-in for everyone and they'll get them to where they need to be. Or they could say, we're going to the pool that day, so we won't even be at site. We're going to be at the pool. So by you just communicating and figuring that out, And they may even say, like, if they're not there by 10, they can't come that day. So you just want to kind of know, especially if it's a half day. If it's half day and it ends at 12 anyway, they'd be like, just don't even come today because you got an hour left. So just kind of know how flexible they are. And if your child has to miss days, if it's an option to pay kind of prorated, or if you just pay the whole amount regardless, just something to know. Do they offer any type of discounts? We always ask camps, are they offering University of Kentucky discounts? Of course, but there's oftentimes a lot of other different types of discounts. Sometimes there's like a veterans discount or military of some type, sibling, income based. So just ask the question. And then are they going to be transporting your child any place? Questions to ask. All right, so now we're going to transition and give our representatives an opportunity to introduce themselves and tell about their camps.
All right. Thank you so much. I am Daniel McGee, the student pastor at Crossroads Church here in Lexington, Kentucky. And I have gotten the chance to help create and take students to our middle and high school camps for the past 7 years. And that's been a great honor because I love camps a whole lot. And here is, if I had to pick one thing to communicate about our camp, why I think it is a good investment in your teenager. It's that you go to a lot of different summer camps and they're going to be a really fun experience. And that's not different for ours. Our camp is a really fun experience for middle schoolers and high schoolers. But one unique thing is that they get the opportunity to form relationships with other teenagers and mentor figures that I believe transcend that week of camp, where there's someone who is investing in them, wanting to support them with whatever they're going through in their life, and help them understand truth about who they are. And when I think about when I was in high school and some of the um, more impactful things that helped me grow and be the person I wanted to be, it was doing things like that, where I was in a camp experience where there was a mentor figure investing in me in that way. So that's a really great thing that we want to provide in our camps. So here are some of the details. We have a middle school camp and a high school camp. The middle school camp is for current fifth through seventh graders, and it is happening um, July 21st through the 25th. And our high school camp is for current eighth through 12th graders, and it is happening June 28th through July 2nd. Both camps are 4 nights overnight and 5 days. And there is not a bunch of prerequisites in order to go. It's just being within that age category. Our camp is 2 separate weeks, but that we use the same location for both, which is Bowling Green State University in Bowling Green, Ohio. It's a great college camp, a great college facility where we use dormitories for sleeping, a boys' dorm and a girls' dorm. We have meals and cafeterias, and we have large group sessions and activities in their football stadium, in their basketball arena, and things like that. Um, what else would be helpful to know? Our camp basically works where each student that signs up is put into a group of people who are in a similar age uh, demographic as them, and they get a leader, and it's about a 1 leader to uh, 7 student ratio. And they get to kind of go through camp together in that group, which creates a great community and opportunity to form friendships and everything like that. And all of these leaders are background checked and vetted and go through a approval process and interview process to make sure they're safe and right people to lead students for a week. And one helpful thing to know about registering for camp is you can do that at crossroads.net/summercamp. And right now, until February 28th, there's a $90 discount. So I know that's always a helpful thing. And finances can be a burden for some people. So we also have a financial aid application process where we want to help the right people financially if that's a need and a barrier for getting to camp. So that's just a little bit of information about Crossroads Student Camp.
Hi, I'm Amy Sayer. I am the clinic director at the UK Communication Sciences and Disorders Academic Clinic. And so we have a program in the summer that we call the Pediatric Speech and Language Lab. And this is a free program for children ages 3 to 18 and gives them the opportunity to improve their communication skills, carry over those IEP goals from the school year through the summer. So a few details about our program is that the kids they receive two 45-minute sessions per week for 4 weeks. And so this starts June 23rd through July 29th. Each child is partnered with two graduate students and a licensed speech language pathologist that's with them 100% of the time. We do have a meet and greet session, the first session, and this really allows that team to get to know the child, develop that personalized treatment plan and goals that we want to work on throughout the summer. And then it's very hands-on learning for our graduate students. So the licensed speech language pathologists, they provide direct instruction and guidance throughout each of the sessions to the graduate students, and then allows the graduate students to start to kind of take over and lead those activities. So the graduate students are taking this as part of a course that they have in the summer. And so we hope that it's very mutually beneficial for both our students and the participants in the program. A few more details. We run on a Monday, Wednesday, or Tuesday, Thursday schedule. So you'll sign up for Monday, Wednesday, or Tuesday, Thursday for 45-minute sessions. We are located at the UK CSD Academic Clinic in the Wethington Building, 900 South Limestone in Lexington. And all sessions are in person. And we really try to run with the camp kind of idea that we have themes every week and interactive activities as far as those themes for gross motor activities, fine motor activities. All of our therapy activities revolve around that theme for the week. So making it really fun for the kids to come in the summer and engage in those activities. So registration is not open yet, but if you are interested, you can email me at my name, amy.sayer, AIMEE.SAYRE @uky.edu, and we can get you on the wait list for whenever we open registration. Thank you.
Hey, so my name is Nora Veblen. I'm the director at Wildwood Music Therapy. We are a small business located in Lexington, and we offer music therapy and adapted music lessons all year round for all ages and abilities. So this summer, we're offering 3 summer camps. They are small, limited to 6 participants, and they are specialty music half-day camps. The one I'm mentioning today is specifically for disabled adults. So if you have kids who are still in school through age 21 or beyond, this camp is targeted for them. It's focused on social emotional goals with a lot of choice for the participants. No experience is required on any instruments, but we want to give folks an experience where they feel successful making music regardless of their experience or ability level. We make lots of adaptations for communication styles and choice making. We are happy to, caregivers are welcome to come, and if you would like to check out the space or even bring your child if they benefit from having an idea of where they're going before they get signed up for a camp. We will be doing an open house soon, so feel free you can follow us on social media at Wildwood Music Therapy or reach out to me and we can make sure you can come and check out our space beforehand, which can kind of help with that anxiety that can come from going to a summer camp. The other 2 camps are a rock band camp and a ukulele camp, and these are both open to all abilities again. So we, kids with and without disabilities can come together, make music together, get to know each other, and again, have those experiences of improved self-esteem, being part of a group, and we include some little art, and movement and things too. But they are kind of the specialty music camps. But again, no experience required, no innate talent is required. Everybody is welcome.
All right, thank you so much. Is there anything else that you guys would like to share that maybe you didn't have a chance to share about your opportunities? And for our participant on here, do you have any questions for our representatives? You can unmute and ask, or you can write it in the chat.
The one thing that I'll mention that I realized I did not mention is that our camp is in Bowling Green, Ohio, but we provide transportation from Lexington at the beginning of camp and then back to camp. So we take a charter bus. Thought that would be helpful for anyone local to know.
Excellent. Thank you. All right. So in our next portion here, just want to kind of talk about what camps wish parents knew. And so I'd like to start by giving our camp representatives an opportunity to share if you have any tips for parents. What are some things you wish they knew before they dropped their child off or before they even signed up for your camp? Any advice for parents?
Just in our program, the parents are welcome to stay since it's, just about 45 minutes to an hour. So we do have kind of an observation hall that they can watch their child throughout the session. But we also do a lot of parent education and trying to, teach the parents how to carry over those goals into the home environment. So I think it's also a really good opportunity for parents to kind of see their child, in therapy and then also learn some things for the home environment.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I would say that at a lot of different types of camps, they could be a new experience for a child, a teenager, and that could come with some anxiety. And I think within that trying a new thing, there could be a really cool breakthrough or opportunity to grow. So being encouraging and helping set them up for that and um, is a great thing to do maybe before a child goes to a camp. And then also to reemphasize what Amy said, at lots of different types of camps, there could be a really cool thing that's learned or a new skill or a new thing that a child experiences. And as a parent, figuring out how you can take this thing that someone got at an opportunity that can only happen once a year, and then maybe figuring out ways to bring that into just your family's life or your child's life that would benefit them ongoing. I think is a cool way to support a child who goes to a camp and get something good out of it, and to try to help bring that back.
I think something I would share is that, particularly in talking about kids with special needs, um, to not be afraid that, if the camp is saying that we're welcoming those special needs and we have supports for that, sometimes parents are worried about my child does this or has a meltdown or needs some extra support or needs to step out. That is okay, and we expect that. And we, at Wildwood Music Therapy, we're prepared for that. We know that camp is a new experience, and we really want to work with you. We want your child to have as much of a successful experience as every other child. So I would recommend, if you have those concerns, don't be afraid to call in advance and talk through coping strategies that work for your children. You can kind of come up with a plan if they need to only go for an hour the first day if that's possible and kind of work up to it. See if you can work out a plan with the camp director.
Lots of great advice. Any other advice? Anything you guys want to share? Thank you for sharing. All right. So here's a few additional ideas and just a little bit of advice for parents in terms of things that camps or camp leaders wish parents knew. So here's the first question. How do you select a camp? Where should you for look for camp activities? And here's some answers from camps. Prioritize what works in your schedule or your partner's schedule first. So when you're looking, like think about, okay, thinking about my schedule and what I need, think about that. Look for activities that your children don't always get exposed to at school. Don't always pick your child's favorite. Think about helping to expand their knowledge and opportunities. Parents should consider their child's interests and not their own. For the second question, what do you wish parents knew before they sent their child to your camp or activity? Your child will be okay without you, even though it might be a really new experience or they are shy or nervous. We do everything we can to ensure a smooth transition. Another point, we will absolutely call or text if there is a challenge that is overwhelming. Expect children to be polite and treat others well. Be very interested in the topic. They may excel in the subject in school and want to learn more. And then what do you need from children attending your camp or activity? The passion and energy to try new things, curiosity and a desire to learn, and then any other advice. Prep your child for the transition. And there's a variety of ways to do that. Nora mentioned some of those, like, just visiting, go on a visit if you can check out the site. Evaluate the facilities, schedule, and leaders of the group. Is it a nice, safe, clean facility? Are the camp leaders qualified? Is there a good variety of activities throughout the day? So those are some things that camps wish parents knew. Here's some parent-to-parent tips. Ask your child if they want to attend camp. Don't send them just because their siblings attended the camp. Consider how they get along with others. Consider your child's interest, personality, maturity level, and mental health. Look for and ask about discounts. Can your child attend with a sibling or a friend to help with transitions? Consider touring the campsite in advance to help with transitions. Use this time to focus on work, self-care, and special projects for yourself. If missing your child, remember they will return soon. If you like the camp, sign up for their social media mailing or email list. So I can always expound on all of these tips, but they're really good tips from parents to other parents. Here's a few benefits to consider also when you talk about sending your child to camp. Of course, there's so many more that's not mentioned here, but these are just a few to consider. Campers obtain life skills or confidence needed to become successful adults. Camp educates the whole child. Camp allows kids to unplug from technology. At camp, there's plenty of time for play, which helps children with social and emotional development and physical and well-being. Children can reinvent themselves at camp, and camp promotes independence. So just a few benefits to sending your child to camp. So that wraps up our presentation. Thank you so much for our representatives for participating, for taking time out of your schedules to share information about your various camps. We really appreciate you being with us today.